Tiens, il y a des glaçons.
Qu'est-ce qui t'arrive?
Il y a une bagarre.
Mais ça va?
Ouais, ça va.
Bonsoir.
C'est qui, lui?
C'est le videur de l'annexe, il m'a ramené.
De l'annexe?
Rust and Bone first made a splash at the Cannes Film Festival back in May. Marion Cotillard plays Stephanie, a party-hard orca trainer who has her legs chewed off by an over-enthusiastic killer whale. Her saviour may or may not be Matthias Schoenaerts' single-dad, bare-knuckle bouncer, with his refreshingly candid attitude to sex. Chuck in a long-suffering sister and an imperiled moppet, and you've got a film that might just cater to Audiard's fans of old and their girlfriends.
Ça va mieux?
Ouais, ça va. C'est toi sur les photos avec les orques?
Ouais.
Quoi, c'est ton boulot?
Ah ouais.
Putain, je pensais pas que tu faisais ça.
Andrew, you met the cast and crew a few weeks ago. Where does this fit into the Audiard back catalogue?
Well, Audiard is a director that commands a lot of attention and respect amongst his peers, a real director's director. I suppose what he's done in the past and what he's known for is taking quite generic sort of crime stories and infusing them with this kind of huge amount of intensity and passion and melodrama. He's done that in A Prophet and The Beat That My Heart Skipped and Read My Lips. What he's done here is he's sort of removed that sort of generic element. He's got hold of these stories by Craig Davidson, this Canadian writer, and stripped away, if you like, the sort of most of the sort of hard-boiled element to it, and just created a very strange, surreal love story. I mean, the actual stories he's based on, the characters don't meet or have anything to do with each other, but he sort of smushed them together, as it were, changed the genders of the characters and changed all the orders of the narrative around what happens to them. Audiard sort of said to me, oh, you know, she's basically somebody who doesn't like sex because she's a control freak before the accident, and it's the accident that helps her open up and enjoy it, and he's a sort of brutal man's man, and he learns as well, and, you know, blah blah blah.
But it's quite. I mean, that makes it sound quite sort of Mills and Boon and a bit soapy to me, which I kind of thought it was, and I mean, it seemed very soapy to me.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he himself said that they'd spent years making A Prophet, which is this kind of huge sort of jailhouse gangster pick, and there were no women in it. Basically, it was all inside. So he said he wanted to do something that had a lot of love in it, had women in it, was out of doors. So, and that's kind of what he very consciously did, and he got these stories and he shaped them to what he and his writer wanted to do, and
But Peter, I mean, I think, you know, actually it's still, you know, you've still got these kind of stubbly criminals that he's very interested in, and you still see quite a lot of them fighting. I mean, it felt less of a departure for me, I think, than...
It was still quite a departure. I mean, if it weren't for the real top-class quality of the actors, the two leads who I just thought were great, especially Marion Cotillard, who has this extraordinary ability in her face to convey minute nuances of thought and feeling in her face, in close-up. Absolutely, there's nobody to touch her right now. Absolutely incredible. On paper, this either looks like a sort of silly Mills and Boon love story, or it looks like an absurdly obvious parable where the whale is some sort of symbol for something or other. But watching the film, it's incredible how both those factors kind of melt away for me. The ostensible soapishness of their love story fades away because of the passion and the sheer sincerity with which it's conveyed. And the whale business, I mean, you think that's got to be so bizarre and contrived, and yet after a while you sort of accept it. You sort of accept that that's what's happened, and I did. I thought it was great that he had responded to a kind of femininity in his filmmaking and had this wonderful performance from Marion Cotillard. My only sort of niggle with it is that she kind of dials out towards the end of the film. In the end, it seemed to be a bit more about him and his little boy, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is interesting because he achieves a kind of very plausible humility in the movie. I was a bit sorry that her story, in a way, seemed to have kind of go into the background, I think, a little bit. But it's a terrific movie. It's done with such kind of power and confidence. It really is very good.
Je vais y aller finalement.
Ah ouais?
Tu me passerais la serviette?
Je fais comment, là?
Faut que tu me portes.
Accroche-toi.